Hi from Carver County Library. This is Bridget talking a little bit about the books I'm excited for in 2021. As a librarian, obviously I have a stack, but I have some that are the faves. Number one I'm looking for is called Outlawed, a nice twist set in 1894, written by Anna North. This is a young woman who gets married and she's unable to conceive, so she is called barren. In her cultural group, that also means witch. So running for her life, she meets up with an unruly group of outlaws, and in that time with them, she finds strength and a new drive for life and becomes just a strong woman. It's kind of a cool tale. I like the twist. You know, those are two very different outcomes her life could have taken, so I'm really excited to read this, and I think it'll be really fun. Number two, A Wife Upstairs, a little bit of mystery for us. We have a dog walker kind of down on her luck. She comes across this, nice looking, affluent guy, lots of money. She's excited to get to know him, but as she talks to people, she finds out he has a wife that mysteriously disappeared. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is his wife upstairs? I don't know, but I'm going to because I'll be reading this soon. I hope you do too, because it sounds really good. My most anticipated is called 400 Souls, A Community History of African Americans, 1619 to 2019. This is actually edited by Hiram Kendi and Keisha Blaine, but it's written by 90 different people that take 5-year increments of a 400-year span of 1619 to 2019. They're artists. They each take their 5 years and they do with them what they like. Poetry, prose. I'll be excited to see what else they can do, and it's just such an amazing way to go and tell their own history. And to me, I'm just emotionally involved already, and I haven't even read it. I'm just excited to hear their stories, and I hope you are too. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.
Hello, this is Kathy Pershman, retired librarian from the Chanhassen Library. This is another book coming out in 2021 that I'm sure you're going to like to read. It's one of my favorite authors, Linwood Barclay. He's from Canada. The New York Times bestselling author of Elevator Pitch and master of psychological suspense returns with a riveting thriller in which the possible heirs of a dying tech millionaire are mysteriously being eliminated one by one. Tech millionaire Miles Cookson has more money than he can ever spend and everything he could dream of except time. He's recently been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and there's a 50% chance that it can be passed on to the next generation. For Miles, this means taking a long, hard look at his past. 20 years ago, when he was young and struggling, he was a sperm donor. Somewhere out there, he has kids, 9 of them. And they might be about to inherit both the good and the bad. Maybe they'll inherit his fortune, or maybe something much worse. As Miles begins to search for the children he's never known, aspiring film documentarian Chloe Swanson embarks on a search for her biological father, armed with the knowledge that 22 years ago her mother used a New York sperm bank donor to become pregnant. When Miles and Chloe eventually meet, their excitement at finding each other is overshadowed by a series of mysterious and terrifying events. One by one, Miles's other potential heirs are vanishing, every trace of them wiped out, like they never existed at all. Who was the vicious killer? Could it be one of the potential heirs trying to get rid of rivals? Or is something even more sinister going on? It's a deadly race against time. Find You First by Linwood Barclay. Hi, this is retired Chanhassen librarian Kathy Pershman talking about a new book coming out in 2021 that I'm anxiously awaiting. Peaches and Schemes by Anna Gerard. This is in her series featuring Georgian bed and breakfast owner Nina Fleet. Nina might be new to the bed and breakfast business, but she knows that tourists coming to the small town of Cymbeline, Georgia aren't going to be enough to keep her bed and breakfast going. She decides to tap into the wedding market. And she takes a booth at the twice yearly Wedding Expo put on by two people in the town, two women, Virgie Hamilton from Virgie's Formals and Roxana Quarry, an event planner and Nina's new friend. But everything goes really wrong during the fashion show when Roxana tumbles out of a prop wedding cake, strangled to death with her own scarf. Virgie is arrested for the crime, primarily because of Nina's statement to the police that she heard the two women arguing. She heard Virgie accusing Roxana of embezzlement. Meanwhile, the situation grows tense between Harry Westcott, Nina's tenant and nemesis, and the handsome out-of-work actor, Harry Westcott. Harry is concentrating on plugging his most recent side hustle, but he's not too busy to break the news to Nina that her ex is engaged to be married again. Certain that Virgie's only offense is a bad temper, Nina has heard local gossip that makes her think there could be other people who might have wanted to murder Roxana. She decides to do her own investigating, but first, Nina and Harry have to start taking care of Roxana's dog, now ownerless. Local gossip convinces her that there are many other people besides Virgie that might have wanted to kill Roxana, so Nina decides she's going to investigate on her own. As Nina gets close to the truth, she's putting her own life in danger. And when Virgie vanishes after being bailed out of jail by an unknown benefactor, Nina fears that if she can't find the dress shop owner in time, tying the knot will take on a whole new meaning for them both.
Hi, I'm Maren from Chanhassen Library, and I'm going to talk to you about a couple of books that are new for 2021. The first one is called Whereabouts by Jhumpa Lahiri. Jhumpa Lahiri is one of my favorite authors because she is able to, she's the master of detail. She can tell you volumes about a character through the most nuanced bits of detail that speak volumes about the character. She isn't very prolific. She only has a few books out, and I think it's because she is such a careful wordsmith. And Whereabouts is no different. It's reflective, thoughtful, and just a journey to take, and a little gem of a book. It's only 176 pages. So if you like this kind of work, I highly recommend it. She first wrote it in Italian and translated it to English, and it just tells you a lot about the type of writer she is, that she has such attention to detail. And so I recommend it. The other book is probably on the radar of a lot of people already. It is The Four Winds by Kristin Hanna. She is the author of The Nightingale, which has been highly popular, continues to be popular. She typically writes about women's relationships in a historical context, so historical fiction. Then I heard an interview with her recently, and she talked about The Nightingale and how that focused during World War II and the relationships between the women characters. And she wanted to do something with U.S. history in the same time period. So this one is focused on the Dust Bowl during the 1930s, and it centers around the main character who is abandoned by her husband and has two children and has to decide how she's going to survive and go on throughout this historic period of time, which actually lasted over 10 years. It was a tough time. And so I think it's going to be highly popular. I believe there is already quite a wait list for it. It did just come out at the beginning of February. So get yourself on the list. I think it's going to be a great read for a lot of people. Thank you and happy reading.
You need more books. 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 You